Do you feel like over the past decade you've become physically stronger and that LiveO2 has served you as an athletic training platform, or how well can you parameterize that for us?
I will, but I'm going to speak to the opposite because it's where I started. So when I first came out to train with you, part of what I told you was, I said, if I start to exercise for like 6 or 8 minutes, light jogging, internally, I feel like I'm in danger and I should stop. So I said, I'm going to come out here. I said, it's been like 8 years that I have not been able to jog around the block. And I said, I'm going to try your machine and we'll figure out what you think and we'll figure out how I feel. So I started from a point of, even though I was not overweight, if you looked at me and my athletic ability, you would have thought like, I had terrible sleep apnea. I was terribly obese and like out of bed. So I started from that point, and then when you use your machine for the first time, it was like 15 minutes the first 2 days, and I can remember telling you, wow, I feel that's better than I thought I could feel. And so my first message and thought for people is the first advantage of additional oxygen is that it enables you to exercise and feel better. So if you right now you can't walk around the block or you can't exercise, you can do it for 6 or 8 minutes and stop. If you had oxygen, you can do it for like 15 minutes and feel better. So the first thing is, and you can do this with EWOT. The first thing is having additional oxygen when you're exercising, you just physically, internally feel better, feel safer in a way, right? It just feels a little safer when you're doing it, when you haven't exercised. So that's the first thing, is it helps you in the first month or two. It just helps you move, exercise. Now you get up to 20 minutes. Now you can walk around the block okay, right? And then your body will quickly plateau. So this is the part that all science backs this up, is that the body has to be challenged constantly. Even resilience has to be challenged constantly to maintain your emotional resilience. So this is where the adaptive contrast, as you call it, comes in, because as soon as I do oxygen only for a month, my body plateaus and I feel fine for 20 minutes. To gain improvement, I have to challenge my body. Now, there's 2 ways you really can do it. You can sprint on the bike, which to this day, as athletic as I am, I don't enjoy sprinting because it physically hurts, or you can reduce the oxygen you're breathing and stay at the same energy level, same effort level. So I prefer the adaptive contrast because I just switch to low oxygen. I maintain the 60, 65% energy effort level. I go hypoxic, I switch. Now I've challenged my body enough that when I breathe the oxygen, it works.
Okay, so when you started, you started out from a status of debilitating fatigue, and I think in our pre-discussion you said you're holding an hour or a very long time, during training now. So parameterize that.
When I'm doing the brain O2, which is 45 seconds at low oxygen, and then I do 3 breaths of enriched oxygen and then go back. So I just broke my bike, but I got up to about 32 minutes. I started that earlier in the year. I had the C word, not being cancer, the other C word that has come around. And that brought back the same debilitating situation. What I had is exactly what long C word is. When you look at those two, it's medically what it was. So it brought back the symptoms. And I started at like 12 minutes when I started doing your brain flush. And then I got up to about 32 minutes. If I'm just riding the bike at about 60, 65% effort, I can do like 2 hours. So I went from a place where I couldn't walk around the block 10 years ago to I'm physically healthier than most people my age. And this is recovering from a condition which has no treatment. So if anything, I hope it's encouraging to people that if you have chronic fatigue is the generic name, even though that's not a medical term, you can recover. You absolutely can recover. And the one way to exercise recover is to give yourself oxygen.